Howdy folks, welcome aboard the channel. I don't know what we're getting ourselves into here, but the title of this thing alone, The Great Nashville Train Disaster. I'm wearing my hat, don't know if it's going to be a disaster by the end of this thing, but I did see on some of the YouTube channels in which this song, people posted it on their channels, not necessarily reactions, but just the song, that it said, in parentheses, a true story. I guess we're going to find out if this is a true one or not, but it's a gift request of William Cash's David Allan Coe, who recently passed April 29th, I think was the date of 2026. So there's an outpouring of love. And, even some folks said he's controversial. Could be controversial, but then again, I don't know exactly what that's all referring to. I remember a couple of years ago, there's a dust up of some sort, but who knows if it was a media invention or if it was legit. I don't know the nature of it. But all that said, you live 86 years, somebody's going to have a problem with something you say. I don't know. All right, guys, here we go. The Great Nashville Railroad Disaster. I like the way this is starting.
Summer morning in the year of 1918, 300 men with ebony skin pulled out of Union Station, headed out of Nashville for western Tennessee. Homeward bound 'cause Uncle Sam closed down the munitions factory. At that very moment, on the Cheatham County line, old number 1 train from Memphis was running way behind. Back in the smoky club car, a Memphis gambling man said, "Gentlemen, I'm folding these cards 'cause I drew a dead man's hand." A young man in a milk truck out near Dutchman's grave said, "My God, 2 trains, 1 track." Then he closed his eyes and he prayed. A sister from the orphan's home made a cross upon her chest, 'cause a one-eyed beast was coming from the east and another one was coming from the west.
Yeah.
Birds flew from the treetops as the impact shook the ground. The screaming wheels and the grinding steel could be heard for miles around. The birds flew from the treetops as the impact shook the ground. The screaming wheels and the grinding steel could be heard for miles around.
That's a bad sound, man. It's scraping metal and bodies.
Every July 9th, a few miles west of town, to this day some folks will say you can hear that mournful sound.
Interesting choice of instrumentation.
In the year of 1918, 300 men with ebony skin pulled out of Union Station.
That's an interesting ending to a song. The fade with the rock guitar, really. Yeah. I mean, okay. I think it was a true story. I don't know if I'd even heard of it. Certainly hadn't heard of it by that name. When I was a kid, I hadn't heard of it. Yeah, I mean, I was born in the 60s, so I'm not saying that I would have heard of it when it happened. But those things you just can't imagine. It's interesting that this song came up too here, William, this request at this time, because I live not far from railroad tracks. I mean, I live near water, so it seems like they're a lot closer than they are. But I mean, it's probably a mile from where I am. And the other day, I don't know. I'd never even realized that there were dual tracks there. So, and the NJ Transit generally runs on time. I mean, like almost to the second. So I'm at the railroad track, and just down a little bit, a couple hundred feet, is one of where their stops are, one of the platforms people get on and off. So one train comes in and it's going slow because it's going to stop there. And then I didn't know this, but then, like, right after that, and it was like 5 o'clock on the nose, this other, 60 miles an hour, this other one just goes blasting by. And I was not expecting to see this. So after the thing went up and you could go across, I looked and I had to check to see how much space is in between them. And it's a standard amount, and it's generally a very safe amount because trains don't go like this generally. And it's one of these things where it's like 60 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. And the engineers just had to have been on their game when they did this because, they know people's lives are on it. But then back in 1918, electronics hadn't been developed. I don't know if they probably had humans doing the, stop type of thing instead of now they've got the light system where when it's red, it tells the conductor or the engineer, don't go. Like, you've got to stop here. You have to pull off. Like, there's a system of signals and communication that didn't exist in 1918. And man, I can't even imagine what it would have been like for both of those conductors in the cockpit, if you will, whatever they call them in the trains, but in there, seeing the other train down the track, knowing there is no way to stop. And it's like oil tankers and ships like that. They take about 4 miles to come to a stop because their momentum is just so tremendous. Their weight, you can't back them up. So they take about 4 miles to stop. So if they're heading in a direction and you're in the way, you better get out of the way because they can't. And same thing with the train. So, I'm not going to rate this just in honor of the people who lost their lives, but I love the storytelling and fascinating choice of stringed instrument in this one, William. The banjo. Fascinating. I mean, you could have gone with anything. You didn't even have to go with the guitar. Or, I mean, it could have just been low riding bass on that one, or it could have just been a bit of a drum, or it could have been a flute. I don't know. It could have been fiddle, it could have been steel, but they went with banjo. Very interesting choice. So, folks, David Allan Coe's The Great Nashville Railroad Disaster. I don't know how many people perished in it, but I'm sure you guys will post it. And for those of you who want to say, do your research, it's not a research channel. I don't know what I'm getting into, but questions pop into my mind when I'm reacting, and I post them to you guys so we could all converse about them. Anyhow, there we have it, guys. David Allan Coe. Thanks again, William. Have a great day, folks. See you on another video. Keep rocking the country.
Out there, Dutchman's great. Said, my God, 2 trains, 1 track. Then he closed his eyes and he prayed. A sister from the orphan's home made a cross upon the chest, 'cause a one-eyed beast was coming from the east and another one was coming from the west.